Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? So here's a upper body routine that you can do at home, or in this case, if you live in an apartment complex or in a housing complex that has an amenity such as a gym. You can easily get a good workout working at the at-home gym that's available to you. Here I'm performing a chest press. It's just a preference of mine to start with this major muscle group. Um, Again, this is just upper body. So today I'm working on chest, back, and shoulders on this. So I'm using the chest press machine. My first set is just going to be a warm up set. Nothing too intense yet. Just getting to that pre exhaustion phase. You'll see that I'll take a brief break. I'll increase the weight, maybe an extra 10 pounds or so. The breaks are pretty brief. I don't really take a minute breaks, 2 minute breaks, unless if I'm doing powerlifting moves such as deadlift, squat, or a bench press, and it's specifically for strength building. But when it comes to stimulating muscle and building muscle mass, yeah, I don't really take minute breaks. So um, here we go again, just pushing in about 10 more pounds or so. I switched up my grip handles. Is there a difference? Not really. I did start to feel a little extra burn on my shoulders, so I didn't want my shoulders to give out before my chest. So it's the reason why I switched my grips on the handles. And as you can see, I'm starting to struggle here. So I use the pedal, this is like an assistance pedal, to push the weight for me so that I can work on the negative phase and work on the negative reps. So after I've reached that positive failure, I like to use these kind of machines that have an assistance so that I can do an extra few reps, two or three of negative reps. And as if that wasn't enough, it was just a brief pause. The set's not over, and I continue to perform my set. Again, just sort of focusing on that negative phase. Yeah, and I couldn't handle the weight. I couldn't really slow the weight down anymore, any slower. So that's it for that. Chest is on fire. So then I move on to a seated row. Um, I think I do about one or two sets, first sets. For me, it's always kind of a psychological thing. I like to do just a one or two warm up set just to kind of prep my body in a sense that the working set that I'll be doing is going to be the most intense set that I'll be performing. So technically, it's not really, I mean, when we refer to one set to failure, that can be whichever set you decided to be the high intensity set. So if you did 5 sets, that means your first 4 sets could have been your warm up sets, and then your fifth set is your high intensity set where you reach all the way to maximum muscle failure on the positive phase, meaning you cannot lift another rep. But why? I mean, that's just time consuming. So that's when you research more hit method or high intensity training, you always hear that it's just a one working set, and people's mind think, well, it just can't be one set. Well, yeah, yes, it can. You can start off with just one set right away and really fatigue your muscle without having to do any extra sets before that. But as a preference, you can always just do a one warm up set just to kind of prep yourself. And then you increase the weight and push it all the way to failure. So I'm performing my last set here. So I just increased the weight, moving slowly through the movement. You want to make sure you're contracting all the muscles in the back, your lat muscles, your biceps as well. And the most important thing when performing um, an intense set is that you want to make sure you're mentally prepared to not quit, because you may be pulling halfway and say, okay, that's enough, and really you're not done, because halfway could be a sticking point and you have to fight all the way to really complete that rep as much as you can. So this is where you start to drive as hard as you can and pulling as hard as you can, and where you start recruiting as much muscle fibers as you can. So as you can see, I dropped the weight, so I'm doing a drop set on this portion here. So I wanted to make sure I really fatigued my muscle. So I use techniques such as drop sets, paused reps, forced reps, negative reps, anything in my arsenal that I can think of to really maximize my time and maximize the intensity of my workout. Another important thing is to make sure you're breathing as you're going through these exercises. Bit of a static hold there. Yep, that was it. And that's it for the back. Okay, next up we got shoulders. So there's not really a shoulder machine here. I do like to use dumbbells. So what will be doing is performing a dumbbell shoulder press. So I'm starting off with 30 pounds on the dumbbells. And again, just working real slow, making sure that my form is correct and strict. Lowering the weights down, not using much momentum to bounce the weights back up. And what I'm going to do here is, after I feel, or once I get to that fatigue, once I can't push anymore, I'm going to drop set. So I'm going to drop half the weight. So from 30 pounds, you'll see I'll get up and grab 15 pounds and continue my set. Here's my attempt to really try to push and drive. With no rest, as quickly as you can. Typically, I like to have the dumbbells already there next to me so I can have as minimal rest as possible. But the dumbbell rack would literally right next to me, so I decided to just grab them right after I was done. And as you can see, a couple more reps to do, and there's nothing left in the tank. That's it for my shoulders. So if any of you are interested, you can visit my website at riverastrengthfitness.com for some online coaching.